Welcome back to the Pack Bulletin podcast where we break down everything green, gold, and glorious. I'm your host, Jake, and today, folks, we got lightning in a bottle. And I'm not just talking about this bottle. And when lightning strikes Lambeau, it doesn't just light up the field, it electrifies the future. And even though they were tossing around the idea of trading back, the Green Bay Packers, with the 23rd overall pick in the NFL draft, decided to take Matthew Golden out of Texas, the first wide receiver taken in round one since Javon Walker in 2002. Let's dig into what makes this kid special, how he fits Matt LaFleur's scheme, and why this pick just might mark the start of a brand new era with Jordan Love at the helm.
News, analysis, updates, and more. Your home for Green Bay Packers football. This is the Pack Bulletin Podcast.
All right, welcome back from that intro. Just like I said, it's been 23 long years since the Packers took a wide receiver in the first round. Not since Javon Walker back in 2002 have we seen this kind of splash from the draft for the offense. But that drought, it's over. Done. Kaput. We took Matthew Golden, round one, pick 23, wide receiver, Green Bay Packers. In Green Bay, no less. The Packers brass, the guys up top, basically just told us everything we need to know about their belief in Jordan Love. They're all in. And what better way to show it than by adding a weapon like Matthew Golden? The kid's got insane speed. He's got good hands. He's young, but he shows experience too. His stats prove that. So we're going to talk a little bit of numbers right now. Matthew Golden torched the Big 12 last year with 1,215 yards, 12 touchdowns, and he was averaging over 16 yards a catch. That's averaging a first down and a half and then some every single time the ball went in between his hands. But wait, there's more. He's got crazy speed. He ran a 4.29 40 at the combine, second fastest overall, which, insane. Second fastest time overall, and the fastest by a wide receiver in 2024. And Daniel Jeremiah hit a quote perfectly. He said, "Golden's acceleration off the line is rare. He doesn't just run routes. He rockets through them." His speed is something to study in itself. And if that's not enough for you, against one of the top defenses in college football, Georgia, he caught the ball for 143 yards. Just let that hit you real quick. That's insane. And also, last season, Matthew Golden caught 13 of his 22 targets thrown over 20 yards in the air. We all watched the tape. Ewers, he's a good quarterback, but he's not the greatest. Sometimes he overthrows dudes, sometimes he underthrows it, left, right, so on and so forth. So that's not all on Golden. But over 20 yards, he's over 50% on reception rate. Hopefully he's the kind of guy that can step in and make some changes on the offense and reel in some balls and step up and, I don't want to say replace, but help fill the gap that's left by Christian Watson missing the first couple weeks of the season. All right, and now we're going to talk a little bit about how he fits in Matt LaFleur's offense. So I'm sure you guys can tell especially in the past couple years, Matt LaFleur loves movement before the snap. Jet sweeps, even after the snap. Jet sweeps, bubble screens, misdirections, you name it. Matthew Golden, he's built for it. He can play outside. He can play in the slot. And sometimes, we've even seen him do, a Deebo Samuel type thing where he plays out of the backfield. He can do all of that. And with Christian Watson and Romeo Doubs already stretching the field, Golden becomes that X factor. He's that other, like I said, Christian Watson's going to miss 3/4 of the season probably. Hopefully less. But he's going to miss a decent amount. So we're hoping he can step in and kind of take that role over. But when Watson comes back, he brings that blow the top off speed. And we're hoping that can make a big difference in this Green Bay offense when we have two dudes that can absolutely take the top off of defense. Romeo Doubs is just a solid catcher of the ball, great route runner. He's someone that defenses are kind of maybe going to overlook with two speedsters in Christian Watson and Matthew Golden, and then Romeo Doubs is probably going to get open a whole bunch. Who knows? We'll see what happens when Christian Watson comes back. But I expect the Packers to be way more dangerous on third down and in the red zone. And one of the best analyzers of wide receivers, he's called so many of the past handful drafts saying this guy's going to be a bust, this guy's going to be great, this guy, so on and so forth. He said great things about Matthew Golden. Steve Smith, wide receiver, Carolina, Baltimore, great wide receiver, historical wide receiver. He said it greatly. He said Matthew Golden's route tempo and field vision scream Pro Bowl potential. This kid shows amazing potential. He can stretch the field. He can do all these different things. I kind of see him being kind of like a Deebo Samuel type thing. Like I said earlier, he can play out of the backfield. Jet sweeps, bubble screens, misdirection. And the speed that this kid carries, like I said, 4.29 second 40. It's encouraging. So now that we've kind of gone over how he fits into the scheme and the offense that Matt LaFleur likes to run, we're going to go over a little bit of, I guess you could say, expectations for year one. So we're going to try and keep it real here. Matthew Golden, he's not going to walk into a number one role right away. That's not how it works. But the receiver room is young, very talented. He's even younger. Talent, we'll see what happens. There's plenty of people that come into the league that show a bunch of talent, and they just don't pan out. There's plenty of people that fly under the radar and become a massive success in the NFL. So I'm not going to say this kid's going to be Pro Bowl first year. I'm not going to say he's going to be Offensive Rookie of the Year. But the kid shows massive potential. And with his skill set, he'll get touches early. We know that. We know he's going to get... Christian Watson's going to be out for X amount of weeks. And I'm expecting, let's say 60 catches, 700 to 900 yards, and ideally 6 touchdowns as a rookie for Matthew Golden. I don't think that's outlandish at all. He came out and said shortly after he got drafted he expects to do a Lambeau leap, at least one, every single week that the Packers play at home. I would love to see that. Love to see it. The one knock that I have on him, I'm not going to put him in this category or this group, whatever. He's not quite as bad as Dontavian Wicks was last year with it. I still have high hopes for that kid. Very high hopes. I think he can pan out and be a great receiver. But Matthew Golden had 6 drops last season. I mean, that's nothing. It's nothing crazy. But when you're getting paid millions of dollars to catch the ball, you better catch the damn ball. So we'll see how that pans out. And we'll see how the Packers go about that. And this is something that we'll touch on again in another episode down the line with Savion Williams, because that's another kind of problem with him is his drops. But it's not anything crazy to worry about, but it is something to kind of look out for, that he did have a handful of drops last season. But the performance and the potential, I think the performance and the potential outweigh the drops and the negative side of them. Now we're going to kind of get into a little bit of the bigger picture with this draft pick, and I guess you could call it a philosophical shift that the Packers took with our offense this season by taking Matthew Golden in the first round. So this pick really tells us that the Packers are done, I guess, tiptoeing or playing around with talent. This is a loud, proud commitment to explosive plays and dynamic offense. Jordan Love threw for over 4,100 yards last year, missing a couple of games. If he's fully healthy all season, that can skyrocket. And now that he's going to have a speed demon in Matthew Golden at receiver, and then, like I said, when Christian Watson comes back, he's going to have 2 speedy guys, 2 guys that can go up and grab things. It's going to boost those yards. It's going to boost that showing even more for Jordan Love, which is exactly what we want to see. We want Jordan Love to take these leaps and these bounds that we expect him to take, with him being our franchise quarterback. And last season, like I said, Jordan Love, he missed a couple games. He was hurt basically all season. And Christian Watson, sure, he got hurt, but he played most of the season. And with that, the Packers ranked 19th in explosive plays last season, which isn't terrible, but it's below average. And explosive plays are massive. Although being below average in explosive plays, the Packers still had a great record. We just fell short to a Super Bowl winning team in the first round of the playoffs. But with Golden, I wouldn't be surprised if we're top 10 in explosive plays in 2025. I think it's a realistic possibility that with this kid running routes, torching DBs, it's a big chance that we're hitting these 15, 20, 30, 40, so on, however many yard plays over and over again, because we know that Jordan Love has a strong arm, and we know that we have a solid pass blocking O-line. So he's going to have that time to sit back there and survey the field. And if Matthew Golden is able to torch these dudes, and he's able to find space in the open field, who's to say that Jordan Love doesn't hit him for a bunch of quote-unquote explosive plays, leading to a more explosive, high-powered offense for the Green Bay Packers. It's something that I see as a realistic possibility for the upcoming season. Now we're going to go over a little bit of stats from the previous year of Matthew Golden. So last season, Matthew Golden had, I would say, excellent hands. He made 11 contested catches, including several along the sideline, which is key. If you can stretch the field, you can hit those sidelines. That's big. and he's a natural handed catcher who can make these outstretched plays, these outstretched catches that some dudes just can't do. Like, he's willing to put his body on the line, and he's willing to keep that possession through contact. He's willing to take the contact and hold on to that ball, and that's just something that you don't see all too often nowadays. And also, like I was saying, with his deep threat possibility, his deep threat, he's able to get those passes that, you know, you just kind of let sink over your shoulder, or those ones that you got to stretch, like I said earlier, stretch out for, put those hands out and reel it in. You know, I mean, like I said earlier too, Jordan Love has a strong arm. I'm sure there's going to be a handful of times he overthrows a dude, and I think Matthew Golden has that chance, has that ability to reach out and reel those in. Might not be a touchdown because he has to kind of dive for it, but I can see him being able to stretch out, dive out, and reel those balls in for big gains for the Green Bay Packers. And now we're going to kind of go over a little bit of his dynamic playability, I guess you could call it. He, even if he doesn't see the field all too much as a receiver this season, which I do not expect at all. I expect him to be out there as at least a wide receiver 3, you know, taking him in the first round. But if not, the kid, he has vision, he has the speed, he has the ability to return kicks, return punts. I would love to see someone other than Jaden Reed back there returning punts. That was one of my biggest pet peeves with the Packers this past season, was the fact that Jaden Reed was back there returning punts. We do not need to risk him getting hurt. That kid is arguably our best receiver on the roster. And if Matthew Golden's not able to take those steps to become a wide receiver 1, wide receiver 2, wide receiver 3, if he's not on the field 80% of the time, I could see him sitting back there returning punts, returning kicks. He shows that dynamic ability. Like, as a true freshman at Houston, he returned 2 kickoffs for touchdowns. One was a 98-yarder against TCU, and another one was a 100-yarder against West Virginia. And over his 3 collegiate seasons, he returned 28 kickoffs, 14 for Houston, 14 for Texas, and he averaged 25.8 yards per return. He wasn't as effective returning kicks for Texas as he was Houston, but even so, like, for Texas, he averaged over 20 yards per return, although only one was over 30 yards in the past season. So now that we've gone over a bit about the Packers' first-round pick, 23rd overall pick, wide receiver Matthew Golden out of Texas, I'm just going to tell you that he's not just a player. He is a flare. He is a firework. The Packers are chasing perfection, as they always should be, as they always have been. And if Vince Lombardi taught us anything, it's that chasing perfection leads to excellence. And with Matthew Golden, I wouldn't be surprised if they found both. He's an excellent player. We'll see how it translates on the field on Sundays. He's an excellent player, an excellent talent, and I think he can be perfect for this scheme. So I think it's time to buckle up, because we just got a whole lot faster. We got a whole lot more talent. And Matthew Golden is going to bring a lot to the Green Bay Packers, in my opinion. Again, like I said earlier, people are buzz. People aren't buzz. People make a complete career out of not really being known. But I think this kid was a top 3, minimum top 7 wide receiver in the draft. and it made a big statement that the Packers took him in the first round. Big statement. Something that the Packers never did during Aaron Rodgers' career. We have not taken a wide receiver since 2002, 5 years before Brett Favre retired, left the Packers. Never happened in the Aaron Rodgers era. Here we are, Jordan Love, new quarterback. Well, kind of new, and we're picking weapons to help him out. I'm super excited to see how it pans out, see how he plays out, see if he makes that leap, see if he makes that adjustment to the league. So with all that being said, that's all for today's episode of the Pack Bulletin podcast. If you're hyped about Matthew Golden, just like I am, please hit that subscribe or follow button. Leave us a review, hopefully a 5-star, and share the podcast with your fellow cheeseheads, your family, your friends, so on and so forth. Please follow us on Instagram at Pack Bulletin, X/Twitter at Pack Bulletin, Facebook at Pack Bulletin, YouTube Pack Bulletin, Threads at Pack Bulletin, and we recently made a TikTok at Pack Bulletin. I'd appreciate if you guys followed and shared all those accounts as well. If you got any thoughts, predictions, hot takes, please let us know on our socials, on the podcast comments here. If there's anything you want us to talk about, like I said, let us know on our socials, on the podcast, in the comments here, or you can also send us an email at info@packbulletin.com. You can also reach out at packbulletin.com. And until next time, stay golden, folks. And as always, go Pack, go, baby. at packbulletin.com. You can also reach out at packbulletin.com. And until next time, stay golden, folks. And as always, go Pack, go, baby.